What's up, everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mr. Craven. Okay, so early access is granted today. So there's a couple things I'm going to go ahead and do today. I don't know what's going on with Cypher. He usually does this, so I think he does a better job than I do. But I'm still going to, and a lot of you guys have already read what's going on with some of the Battleground sets, but I kind of wanted to just do it, and give you my opinions. Especially, first we'll get into the gear, what Battleground sets are, what they look like, and how do they apply. Alright, so I'm still in the public test because I'm downloading the patch as we speak at the moment. So servers are back up, but everybody's just loading in the patch. So let's go ahead. Let's go into the first one, Vanguard's Challenge. Okay, we'll pick up all these. Alright, I'm going to go ahead, go into supplies, and the first one we're going to look at is Cowards. Okay, so what Cowards does is it gives us 1027 max health, 124 stamina recovery, 124 stamina recovery. While sprinting, you gain major expedition and major protection, increasing movement speed and reducing your damage taken by 30%. Now, this set, I got to play with this set, and this set works in certain scenarios. So if you want a little bit more durability in Battlegrounds, it's a great set. Hands down. The recovery is nice. So even if, let's say, you're going with a 5-4 setup, this is just good just on the recovery and the max health, and you can allocate more points into your stamina, which is great. The major protection, you have to be sprinting to get this. So when you're like move on the go, it applies, and it's great for those purposes. But to me, it's not a good primary set. For a secondary set slot, it works good, but the recovery's nice, max health, comes in handy. The fifth piece bonus, there's better sets out there on that one. Impregnable armor. Okay, this is a heavy. Okay, the last one was stamina. Okay, we're looking at 1027 max health, 933 max stamina, 933 max magicka, and adds 2412 critical resistance. This is a really good tank set, right? So if you're going to be a tank in PvP, Battlegrounds, or even, this set actually even, it works in Cyrodiil too. So this is a really good tank set, solid tank set. Out of all these sets, I think this was probably one of the better base sets that you could roll. You can roll this as a base set and then slot any other setup that you can have. So I'm pretty happy with the Impregnable set because there's so much flexibility around it. It works out really nice. Okay, Night Slayer. Now, I got to play with Night Slayer a lot. It is a light armor set. Adds 933 max magicka, 124 spell damage, 1027 max health. Notice the health is in the 4th spot. Just a heads up, guys, if you want to play with your builds and you want to do it with 2 or 3 piece, just a heads up. Now, here's what's interesting. Your fully charged heavy attacks against players deal an additional 9% of their max health as oblivion damage. Okay. This is a really, really nice set for a heavy attack build. I'm telling you guys, this is pretty sick. The Oblivion damage is basically like unresistible damage. I guess you can kind of look at Oblivion damage like Daedric. Remember when we had Daedric? So it's kind of the same principle. And it is really a nice setup. Now, you could pair this with a set like Elegance. You take the Elegant set along with a set like this. Hello, watch the fuck out for a lot of heavy attacks. The only thing about it is your abilities do suffer for this set. So while it does have its strengths with the Oblivion damage, it's only applied to your fully charged heavy attacks. So light attacks and your abilities kind of suffer on the back end for that. So I will say that, but there's a lot of different combos you can pull out with the Night Slayer. Really nice setup. Let's see. A Vanguard. Okay, this is once again a heavy armor set. Max health, adds 4% healing taken. When you taunt an enemy player, they deal 50% less damage to all other players, but 100% more damage to you for 15 seconds. This effect is lost if you enter sneak, invisibility, or further than 28 meters away from the enemy player. To me, it's a good prevention, like if you're in team deathmatch. So when we're in Battlegrounds, you have Dominance, a Capture Flag, and Team Deathmatch. This set is pretty good in Team Deathmatch, and the other one's not so much, because everybody will be kind of on the go, and this setup for other Battleground. Now, in Cyrodiil for Siege, works out really nice too, so it works really good for that. But Team Deathmatch has its advantages with the set. The other two, unless you're moving in on Zerg and you're keeping in close quarters to each other, not so much. One loss out away from you, they're not up your ass crack, it's pointless. This set it's kind of disappointing, to be honest with you. My opinion, though. It's just my opinion. Wizard's Reposit. Ran this a lot, too. Okay. Max health, spell damage, adds recovery. Recovery is very important now, guys. When you take critical damage, you apply minor maim to the enemy for 15 seconds, reducing their damage done by 15 seconds. This is a nice debuff, especially on those little clinch moments when you're trying to, get a control point, or you're seizing a flag and you're doing a carry. Wizard's Reposit is a nice setup for that, for the Battlegrounds. It's really nice. It's a good setup. I'd run it as maybe a secondary primary. You're going to need something with a little bit more oomph, but and it comes in handy. But I like the Knights a little bit better than the Wizards. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I mean, and this is good for healers. And I will say that. So if you're a healer and you want to go ahead and roll whatever primary healing set you want to, let's say you're using Transmutation, and you pop on the Wizard's Reposit, it's really good because in this aspect, it's going to reduce the damage done to you. Because one of the major things they're going to always try to do is take out the healers. That's the first thing I'm looking for, is who in the hell is healing. And I want to take them out. Well, with this set, what's really nice is they can reduce the damage done to you by 15%, especially if they're running Oblivion damage. So this set definitely comes in handy in those occasions. You can also run it on DPS, but your DPS will suffer for it, So just a heads up on that. So these are the sets. We have 2 heavy, 2 light, 1 medium. This is my problem. Okay, one thing, stamina, they needed to come out with another stamina. They should have made it equal. It should have been like 2 heavy, 2 light, and 2 medium. But, Cowards was the only thing we got for stamina, which was a little disappointing. Also, once again, you really didn't separate PvP gear. ZOS didn't separate PvP gear really from PvE again. This was their really a good opportunity for ZeniMax to cash in and separate more PvE and PvP. Because as it stands, even though a lot of these 5th trait bonuses do apply to PvP, they really don't impact the player's build as much as you would think. The Oblivion damage on the Knight set is really good. I'm not going to say it isn't, and it does make a tremendous difference. But it only applies to a heavy attack. What a lot of PvPers, especially myself, was looking forward to is maybe an extra bonus damage to players, specifically PvP. So basically taking the trial type setups and then rolling in with that to completely separate a PvP build from a PvE build. Because as it stands, I can take a lot of my PvE builds, convert them over to a PvP format, and they perform very well. To me, this is unfortunate because a lot of PvPers don't like to do dungeon crawls and vice versa. Some people like to do dungeons, don't want to bother with PvP, but then they have to PvP to get like Warhorn or Barrier or something along those lines to help their PvE aspect. For me personally, this is, I mean, I get that both of them kind of go hand in hand, and personally I like playing both aspects of the game, but certain players do not. And I think this was just the one opportunity that ZeniMax could have taken a set and said, you know, on a 2 or 3 piece bonus, said reduce the damage from enemy players by 15%. It only applies to that. Increase your damage to players by 8%, just like trial sets. But they didn't. They dropped the ball on that completely. And even though the 5th piece bonuses are more applied, most of the builds are applied to PvP. I don't think it was enough, and they should have came out with another stamina. So that's kind of, you know, my opinion. Once again, it's just my opinion. Now, does it dramatically affect Battlegrounds? No. Battlegrounds are fun. Very, very, very fun, guys. There's still so many things you can do with your builds and rolling in, and it's fast-paced. You know, you got a timer, you got an objective, you're in, you're out. It breaks up the monotony. Will it affect Cyrodiil? A little bit, but not much. Cyrodiil is still a siege engine. This game is known for having one of the best siege engines since like Dark Age of Camelot or Lineage. So, in my opinion, Cyrodiil will never be dead. They need to do something with the sewers, okay? And I get that you can go down there, you get key frags, and you can go into the vaults of White Gold and Imperial City, which is nice. Telvar sets now, you can get those gold and, you know, kind of farm up that, and that's kind of nice. It works good, but they need something. They have the control points in the districts, which is great. I mean, it really is. It's fun, but unfortunately, there's just no other, you know, system that gives a benefit to the players for making them choose, you know, the districts or the sewers versus Cyrodiil. You know, a lot of people are chasing Emperor C or competing in Cyrodiil. There needs to be some sort of kind of a, you know, mechanic like that for the districts and the sewers to make it a little bit more appealing to players to go down there. Battlegrounds, though, you have leaderboards. So that's competitive play. So Battlegrounds will take off huge. I guarantee it. Battlegrounds are fun, competitive, short. If you're a big PvPer but you don't have a lot of time, sometimes Cyrodiil can be just a drawn out. You go down to the districts, certain districts can be just dead. You roll solo, you can gank some people. If you roll team, it just doesn't feel like there's anything you're accomplishing. So, I don't know. They need to do something with the districts, give some sort of, you know, challenge or objective to the players to, you know, make it, you know, worth their while to go down there. You know, and there are incentives. I'm not saying there isn't, but there's just no direction of what's the point of capturing all the districts besides the bonus and Telvar. You know, what's the point? You know, you tell me. So, other than that, Cyrodiil, it's the Emperor C. Battlegrounds, it's leaderboard, bragging rights. There needs to be something applied to the districts. That's all I'm saying. Once again, they need to do something. They need to come out with another medium armor set for poor stamina users. Coward set's pretty good, but it's just not enough. They dropped the ball. They just dropped the ball, you know, with the PvP sets, in my opinion. They're good. Some of these sets are really good. Knights is really, really great. Oblivion damage, hello. Friggin' put that with elegant, you know, on a friggin' sorcerer and tell me some shit after the fact. You know, either that or even Necropotence with Night Slayer. Just, yeah, it's crazy if you want to go with a pet build. So, yeah, guys, good shit. You know, I couldn't talk about it. You know, once again, I was under NDA. I was not going to risk my account. But a lot of really good shit. I will be covering a lot of stuff. But I'll tell you right now, a lot of PvPers were not happy with some of the things with sets. A couple of us had this discussion, and I can tell you guys right now that from a tester standpoint, they dropped the ball. Okay, good sets. We covered it. I showed it to you guys. I will be doing a video. Hopefully, I'll be showing you guys some of the new motif styles, which are badass. Some of these new, and if you guys didn't get the collectors, if you haven't pre-ordered, and you're a big motif person, I would suggest getting the collector's edition, because that motif is just badass. It's pretty badass style, which I was pretty happy about. There are like pros and cons and everything. There were a little bit of cons, but the pros definitely outweigh the cons. So a lot of people were hitting and saying, well, I'm not getting Morrowind. I wouldn't tell you guys to do that. There's a lot of positive things in this expansion. Okay, the content is great. The new trial, oh my God, Halls of Fabrication. It's so badass. It's so kick-ass. It's probably now one of my favorite trials, because it feels like a raid to me. It actually has a lot of things going on inside of it. And I'm hoping that I can do some content. If I imagine someone's going to beat me to it, but like the first boss, you got these twin machines. They come up. You have one tank on one side, one tank on the other side. They can't get certain close together, or else they'll do this electrical field, can wipe out your team. And then another part is in the same section. When you kill them, another phase spawns, and it's just badass, guys. I'm telling you. The last boss is so killer. I mean, literally killer. They did a great job, guys. I'm telling you. If you're a trial fan, get it, Morrowind. If you're a content junkie, get Morrowind. If you're a PvPer and you are competitive, you're going to love Battlegrounds, get Morrowind. There are a lot of pros to this expansion. It's just unfortunate, though, that a couple of minor things got dropped. Hopefully ZOS will take notes and make changes accordingly. Separate PvP from PvE. We've been asking for it. We want it. Just do it. Get it done. All right? So that's my only gripe. Resource management's no big. And you guys know me. I don't bitch a lot about what ZOS does. But, this shit with the PvP sets, yeah, I don't know, man. They're good. I'm not going to say they're bad. They are good. But they could have went a step above. They really could have. But all right, if you guys have any questions or comments, please post below. I will be on this. I will be doing a couple videos this week, if not even more tonight. I might even get on here, craft up some stuff, get those styles shown to you guys, just to give you guys a heads up of what it looks like and what's going on. If you have any questions or comments, please post below. Once again, I do thank you for watching, and have a nice day.